Hi everybody, my name is Reverend Anna Golladay and I am the co-director of the Activist Theology Project alongside Robin Henderson Espinosa. I'm also the curator of creative advocacy and engagement. You all have been watching a series of videos that we were putting out prior to the election in the United States, asking a really important question. What does it mean to be a citizen of conscience in an empire? And you've already had the opportunity to watch videos from Jeff Coachy and Aaron Law. If you haven't seen those, I encourage you to go back to the YouTube channel and pick up and catch up on those as well. But what this election has done is it has enhanced our ability to see things that are really unfortunate. I mean, we are now looking at the racist and misogynistic and patriarchal and capitalist and colonialist and queer-phobic underbelly of this nation. And it's caused me to use a term that I don't really like, but it's all that I can use to kind of capture where I feel like we are. And what that term is I feel like we're empathy bankrupt. We don't have the capacity to be with one another, to be empathetic to one another, to sit with one another in this space and hold space for one another. And as the Christian pastor that is a part of this team of the Activist Theology Project and looking at this question, what does it mean to be a citizen of conscience in an empire, I actually take my cues from someone who was just that, a citizen of conscience in an empire. And that's Jesus. Now, I recognize that many of you are watching this video and are followers of the Activist Theology Project and don't consider yourself people of faith. I get that, and that's okay. I hope that you'll allow me just a few minutes to kind of talk to you about Jesus from a historical perspective, not from an evangelical perspective, because I really think that some of the ways that he reacted to empire politics help us understand what our role is in this work as well. So, we live in a world that's constantly asking us to define who's in and who's out, who's good and who's bad, or who's worthy and who's unworthy. And Jesus expanded the scope of who was included in the covenant. He came in conflict with religious leaders who wanted to be more restrictive, who wanted to be guardians of the law and guardians of the temple. And Jesus, quite frankly, wasn't afraid to critique honestly these dominant forces from outside of Israel's religious structures. He rejected authoritarianism that was central to Rome's politics. This doesn't identify Jesus as apolitical or indifferent to the empire. Rather, when seen in conjunction with his ministry as a whole, Jesus in all cases presents his politics as an alternative to political authoritarianism. I mean, Jesus spearheaded a revolutionary movement that was revolutionary not only in its rejection to present political status quo, but also revolutionary in presenting an alternative vision for social order. I mean, Jesus's language of kingdom or kindom itself indicates that Jesus realized and understood himself as posing a contrast between his community, the community of people that were following him and that he was ministering to, and the community that was Rome. Friends, Jesus was apolitical only if politics is understood strictly as power politics. I mean, we at the Activist Theology Project say all the time that all theology is politics. And that's because we understand politics more generally, meaning the way that human beings order their social world, the way that we are with one another. And if that's the case, then Jesus is definitely political. In fact, in this sense, just about everything he taught, turn the other cheek, reject lording over others, share with those in need, those things are political. So when Jesus says, my kingdom is not of this world, we really should understand him to mean that the way of ordering social life, human social life, is not of the order of political authoritarianism. It's not of the order of empire. Jesus leads a social order. Jesus leads an empathetic order. Jesus leads us in a political order that asks us to be different with one another, to be different in the way we structure our social life. Jesus calls me to live free from political authoritarianism. Jesus asks me to be a citizen of conscience in the middle of an empire. That's the way I voted. That's the way I assume and hope most of you will vote. But know that I believe that following Jesus puts me directly in opposition to the powers of empire. I think that that's what Jesus was all about. As we go into this really important week, and as you all begin to think of what makes you each a citizen of conscience in the midst of an empire, I hope that you'll think about the historical figure of Jesus. I hope you'll think of Jesus as a human who gave us a bit of a footprint on how we can thwart political authority and how we can thwart empire. And I hope that you continue to let activist theology be a part of you.